making you flinch like the ki from your karate opponent just before he punches you in the gut. It's DIA, or Dudes in Asia. What up, Dudamaniacs? As always, this is David Hayter.
And this is David Nguyen, a.k.a. Enter the Nookie.
On episode 38, episode 38 of DIA, we're going to be talking about martial arts.
Wow, that's right. Martial arts, my man.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. That's a good subject for you.
It is, man. Something I've been meaning to get to for a while, you know. Just kind of came up.
It's a good subject. Unfortunately, I don't know much about it. I mean, I know surface level stuff, not deep level thinking about martial arts. But definitely appreciate it for sure.
Right on, man.
What's new with you, hombre?
Yeah. Same old stuff, dude. Working with the exercise as much as I can. Mm-hmm. You know, like last week I call it the farewell tour, you know. So I was visiting a lot of people and just being super busy and whatnot. But pretty much on it, you know.
Pretty much a month exactly left, right? For work, right?
Yeah, less than a month now, man.
Less than a month, alright.
Yeah, because I'll be moving out on the 12th.
Oh, okay. I think it's 17th
yeah.
for some reason, okay.
No, yeah. Yeah, I'll be out on the 12th, and then I'll be traveling around for a little bit, you know, after that. But yeah, I'll have to move out of my apartment and stuff. That's the last day of work.
Okay.
But one thing I'm glad about, though, is they always have a farewell party, right, for the people that are leaving.
Yeah.
And before, what they did last year is, they made everybody move out of their apartment, right? So, it'd be if Friday, July 12th, I had to leave my apartment, and then it's okay, leave your apartment, come to City Hall, fill out all this paperwork, and then you have to come to, a party for you that night when you have no house. You
have to come to this party.
Yeah, it's a party for you.
Yeah.
If you don't go, you kind of look like a jackass, you know?
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, but I told him just hey, if you can, have it the week before. That's how we did it before. I don't want to go to this party when I'm homeless, you know?
Shit face, all right, bro. Back on the streets.
Yeah, so I guess they showed us some love, you know. They're going to have it the Friday before we move out, so that's nice.
Otherwise, you'd have to rent a hotel room or whatnot.
Yeah, well, it's I already have a hotel room, so we're going to be kicking it a little bit, but it's just man, come on, man. Come on. It's I'm living out of 2 suitcases and a backpack. You want me to get dressed up and come to a party?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. No.
Nice.
But yeah, man, just kicked it with a bunch of people last week.
Nice.
Man, if we ever come to Yokkaichi, though, dude, I found this place that makes they call it kushikatsu, all that fried stuff on a stick. Fantastic.
All right.
Yeah, this place, even for dessert, they get fried Oreos, man. Yeah.
Have I tried? No, I think... Never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah, fried Oreos are good. Yeah, other than that, I just got one more random story. So, we're kicking it with some people on Saturday night.
Yeah. And
then Sunday morning, we're yeah, you know, spend the night over here. Sunday morning, we'll go eat tonteki, that pork steak that's famous in Yokkaichi. It's oh yeah, I have to be on this train by 12:15 or 11:50. I'm oh yeah, if we get there a half hour early, we'll be fine. It's usually not that crowded. I'll definitely make that, you know. And then we show up, and there's 15 bikers, all in line first, you know. And then we get in line a couple places behind them. All right, we're cool. We're gonna make it, you know. We're there at 10:30. The place opens at 11. And then at 10:50, 15 more roll up on motorcycles. We're just what the fuck? I hope they get in the back of the line. And then the guy just comes up. He's yeah, come on. And they all just walk in ahead of everybody else.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, and so all these people man, we've been waiting. What the fuck? Oh, we can't do anything though. But yeah, dude.
Fucking bikers, man.
Yeah, man. Well, I don't know, man. I don't want to judge people too harshly, but it's I rode a motorcycle, and that was my only means of getting around, right? And then what you get with some people, they're weekend warriors.
Yeah.
They work 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, drive a Lexus or a BMW, and then once a week they go ride their bikes so they can feel strong.
Yeah. They can feel like a man.
Yeah, basically, man. But yeah, that was pretty hilarious though.
Nice.
But yeah, man, anything new happening with you, Doug?
Man, I had quite a good week, I'll tell you that much, dude.
Oh, really?
Went to Kenta with VC Wednesday through Friday and visited on June, man.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it was some mean times, man. That's all I can say. Like, yeah, pretty much like every night, me, VC, and his friend would go out. Pretty much be like, had a good stay at the hotel room because we were out late, you know.
Yeah.
And then, so we were drinking like really hard Wednesday when we arrived. I went back to June's place and like had this like homemade hooch from Serbia because my friend is Serbian, and so we got trashed. And the next thing you know, like we wake up around like 10:30, and Aunt June tells us to go to get some goat, like a roasted goat leg and some goat hot pot. We were there drinking from 12:30 to 9:30.
Holy shit, man!
Yeah, it was the funny part about it was we had that hot pot like cooking nonstop for 8 hours. Even though we never touched it, they kept refilling it because the soup was just kept like evaporating. But yeah, dude, I don't think I could have ever drank that much alcohol. Like, well, in terms of beer, like ever. Like, dude, it was a 9-hour session, and like the funny part was like, it really was a business talk the whole time. It wasn't chit chat and stories. It was seriously just talking biz, but it just lasted 9 hours and involved alcohol, you know? So that's where, like, it's kind of funny when women don't understand, like, wait, you're eating and drinking, you're not working. It's like, oh, yes, we are. And yes, it goes down like that, you know?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. So that was like Thursday, and then like Friday was recovery. And then weekend, I went to Bingwa with my wife's dad's place, and I just kicked it. Good food, good times, and back to work, man. But that Kentucky trip was awesome, dude. Oh yeah, dude. So VC paid us like the highest compliments I think I've ever heard.
Really?
In terms of friendship, he's like, you know what, like you and H8R, like I wish I met you guys when I was younger, so we could all be friends like till this day. I was like, oh, dude, that's like really sweet, you know. He's like, you guys are so fucking cool. Like, I wish I met friends like you when I was younger because you guys are just like the shit. I was like, oh, dude, that's awesome. You know? Yeah.
For sure, man.
Yeah,
just like cool to kick it with, like not trying to fuck people over and shit.
Yeah, exactly. So that was like that's one of probably the biggest compliments you could probably hear VC talk about friends. You know?
Yeah.
I was like, yo, man, most dad, like respect, man. Like we love you too as a man. Like you show us good times, and you know we're all love here. So. I think he could really feel the genuine, like how we are with each other and how we are with other people. So it's like, man, I wish I met you guys when we were younger. But it's like, well, we know each other now. It's all that matters.
Yep. Now, see, I'll tell you what you should have told him, and it's something I told one of my friends a while back.
Yeah.
I was be like, if there was like, you know, a completely like hetero way for me to bone you, I'd do it. All right, so today's topic is martial arts. You know, for those of you that know me, I do really like some martial arts, you know. I do consider myself a martial arts expert. You know, you've heard the rule, right? Like, they say, if you read 3 books on something, you know, like 90% more than the average person.
Really?
On that subject. So you can call yourself an expert if you've read 3 books on a subject.
So you've read a lot of martial arts books.
I have. I've read more than 3. Not quite sure how many.
3 of each subject or 3 in general?
Like, depending on the subject, you know what I mean? So, like, if I were to read, like, 3 books on, like, physics, I could call myself, like, a physics expert.
Okay.
You know?
So you say you're a martial arts expert because you've read different various forms of martial arts?
Yes, I've read 3 books on martial arts.
There we go.
More than 3. But yeah, I was gonna go through my background really quick. Like, I mean, some people do kind of consider wrestling like a martial art.
It is, man. It is.
Yeah, 1 year in high school.
It's just 1 year?
Yeah, 1 year, dude. 9th grade, man. That was it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because like I remember one day I ditched like a practice, and the coach was like, "So, where were you like these past 2 days?" I was like, "Yeah." One day I had to make up a test. The other day I just didn't come. He's like, "Oh, so you just didn't come? You stole my money, huh?" I was like, "Sorry, I guess so." And he was like, "You know, I'm tired of this crap." He was like, "If you don't show up, all you are is just crap on my roll sheet. So you might as well just drop." And I was like, "Okay."
Okay.
Yeah, but then like I had wanted to work anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. It would have been hard to do wrestling and working at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But then later, like when I was in college, like maybe around 2007, I used to do sword fighting with that one guy, you know.
Was it Boku something or guy?
Boken was the sword.
Boken, yeah. But the form of it was called...
I don't even know, man. Bato to you. I don't... Yeah, but he was like... He's kind of bootleg, you know?
Oh, yeah, I remember. Like, yeah, I can't... It's all coming back, bro. It's all coming back.
Yeah, it's like somebody had like taught him kendo, and then he took that and kind of made it like sword fighting, you know? So he isn't like a certified sensei or anything. But then at the time, he knew more than I did. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
And I didn't have to pay him nothing, so the price is right. Yeah. And then later, 2008, I started doing karate and Japanese jiu-jitsu, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that style, the first style I did was Shorin Ryu, and then like 2011 started doing Shotokan karate. And then when I was doing study abroad in 2012 in Japan, there's like another style of karate I did sometimes. It's called like Shito Ryu, I think. I don't remember. I think even the people that were practicing it didn't know. And then I was in the kickboxing club too.
Nice.
So I've done like a little bit of everything, you know.
That's nice.
Yeah, but I think like, you know, most people think about martial arts, think of like Bruce Lee, like the stuff you see in the movies, you know.
Yep.
But like when you actually go back to like the root of like martial arts, is basically made for like war, you know what I mean?
Of course.
Yeah, like there's like a legend, you know, and that's the thing about martial arts, is there's a lot of legends, and like sometimes there's truth to the legends, sometimes it's all BS, but we really can't know, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people credit Bodhidharma, you know, like ancient Buddhist monk.
That's right. He's purely fictional, right?
I don't know, man.
That's right.
I have no idea. If enough people believe it, it's true.
Yep.
No, but it's just mystery to it, man. Like people say he exists, like it's hard to kind of prove it either way, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
Well, they say absence of evidence is not evidence of absence.
That's right.
No. But they say that he actually created martial arts, like because he wanted to have like some super intense like meditation sessions, and then like the people at the temple like couldn't hang. They was like weak physically, you know.
Bodhidharma?
Yeah, or Bodhidharma was strong, but the people in his temple were weak. So he's like, all right, I'm going to teach you guys these martial arts so you can be strong.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, but when you look at like martial arts in modern times, like the real definition of a true martial art, like it's used for military, like on the battlefield. Like I could teach it to you quickly, you know, like in a couple of weeks, you know, and it's like deadly force, you know, so it's more for like a soldier who loses his gun, you know, or like runs out of ammo, you know. But then when you look at martial arts, how most people practice it today, like, you know, most people have got jobs. They're not going to be going around having to ice people with their hands, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the focus has kind of changed, you know. Now it's more for like self-defense in certain situations. It could be more just like a hobby to get with a group, or it could
be competition-wise, right?
Yeah, like sports competition, you know, like think like UFC, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or it could be like just for overall fitness, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think, you know, sometimes too people like to get into style superiority.
Yeah. I mean, that's natural with the mind, right? If I do it, it's probably better than everything else.
Yeah, I think it's that, and also a lot of teachers are kind of like that, you know? They're like, I got the real stuff, so you should train with me.
So they kind of preach that mindset already, right?
Yeah, like, I remember somebody else told me, it's just like, yeah, like my friend was like super into like Kung Fu, and like he told me that like his is like the only complete form of like martial arts, and like all the other ones are like incomplete. So like they'll never be able to beat like any kung fu masters. It's just like whatever, fool. Like,
pretty much, yeah. Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. You know, but I think too, like you kind of got to look at how to train for like martial arts, you know. Mm-hmm. And so part of it is kind of like, you know, there's a body-mind connection. A lot of people focus on training the body, you know, so that's like your overall strength and conditioning. Like having the ability to fight like multiple opponents at once, or like fight one dude for a long time, you know, it's like where the cardio comes in. And then as far as like strength training goes, it's like you focus on certain movements, certain muscle groups, So, like, if you were going to be doing, like, striking, like kickboxing, then you want to train, like, your back muscles, like your triceps,
Mm-hmm.
And then for kicking, it's like your lower body, like your lower abs, you know what I mean? And then if you're going to be doing grappling, it's kind of like your arm strength, like forearms, biceps, like chest, That's so you can hold on to somebody and they won't get out. And then I feel like no matter what type of martial arts you're doing, you always need some core strength, Because they say that, like, everything kind of emanates from the core, that's where it comes out. And then, like, next it kind of focus on the mental training, right? And so in martial arts, you do need, like, a certain amount of focus, you have to concentrate to, like, keep your cool in tense situations, like you got to be calm under pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you also have to have some awareness, so they call it kind of like kinesthetic awareness, like being aware of your body and how it moves and, like, the space that you can get through. And then also, like, being aware of, like, your surrounding or potential threats, so you can see things coming before they hit you,
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to be blocking punches with your face.
Maybe you do.
And then they also kind of call it, like, just like a martial mentality, right? So you're just always kind of ready for whatever.
Yeah.
And so, like, you enter a room, you kind of, like, size up the situation, see how many people there are, like, spot your exits,
Mm-hmm.
And then you kind of think, like, okay, if shit goes south, like, how am I getting out of here? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or you figure, like, the average person just kind of walks in, like, oh, wow, it's a nice room. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So if something goes down, there's be a victim of circumstance instead of actually, like, prepared for just embracing, like, the challenge that comes up, right?
Yeah. Those, I don't know, man. Some people, it's like they say there's the wolves and then there's the sheep.
Yeah.
That's why I'm the sheepdog. No. I don't know if you've ever watched Black Jesus, man, but that's a great TV show.
Nope.
Yeah, but Charlie Murphy talks about the sheepdog on there. He's like, we the sheepdog. Yeah, it's pretty fantastic. Yeah, but I think too, like, when thinking about martial arts nowadays, like, there's definitely, like, philosophy into it and, like, why people are training, and this varies, like, by student to student. It also varies from school to school, So, like, some people are kind of like, oh yeah, I'm training in martial arts so I can beat people up. I just want to kick someone's ass,
Mm-hmm.
And then other people are like, oh, I want to protect myself. I want to save my own ass, And then other people are like, oh, I want to protect other people. I want to, like, save somebody else from getting beat up. But kind of like the self-defense, like, the martial arts I took had more like a self-defense focus, and it was more just like resolving conflict, so, like, stopping it before it starts, staying out of dangerous situations, stuff like that, But yeah, I think too, like, you look at all the different types of martial arts that are out there, and, the military ones are still around, but you basically, like, unless you're training, like, Krav Maga, like, I don't know, man, some of them you'd have to be
brutal, right? Those are brutal.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd have to be in the army for it. But yeah, like, Krav Maga don't fuck around, dude.
Like
I read a couple
eye
Krav
gouging
Maga
and,
books.
like,
Yeah.
everything, like, just, like, ruthless stuff, right?
Yeah, they're like, this is the proper way to eye gouge, like, get a fistful of hair and shove your thumb in their eye,
Or this is the way to, like, rip the balls off a guy.
Yeah, if they ain't got no hair, go for the ear. That makes a good handle.
Yeah.
And then, like, the Russians use, like, Systema. And then in the U.S., the Marines they call it MICMAP. It stands for, like, Marine Corps Martial Arts Program.
Okay.
Yeah, so, like, some people, man, they join the Marines and they just become a martial arts instructor. That's all they do their whole life.
That's interesting.
Yeah, but so, like, that Japanese style of jiu-jitsu I took was Danzan Ryu Jiu-Jitsu.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was like, a lot of the locks and grabs and stuff, like, became a part of MICMAP, like, after World War II, they put that together. Yeah, and then, so outside of military applications, you have, like, self-defense, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like what I've studied so far. you know, or at least the most. And so for those ones, like, you have no rules, you know. It's not like deadly force, though. It's more just like self-defense, you know. And so that's where you'd have like jiu-jitsu, like karate, like dirty boxing. But I feel like that goes more with Japanese jiu-jitsu, you know, because like, you know, the next category is to talk about was like sports and competition. It's like those have rules. And so like Brazilian jiu-jitsu, like it is like a good martial art, but it's good for one-on-one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you're like in an alleyway and like a dude tries to take you down, like you don't want to be rolling around on like glass and like trash, like, you know, like pull guard on the street, you know? Yeah. Or I remember I was reading something like, yeah, you go for a triangle choke, dude's just gonna bite your balls off, like, you know. So you got to be careful, man, with some of those techniques, you know. But yeah, then you also have kind of like your boxing, which can be good, you know what I mean, if you know how to do dirty boxing. Yeah. You know, if you know how to break the rules. And then you got like wrestling, taekwondo, karate, anything that's like competition, you know. And I think outside of that, you have the stuff that's more geared towards like fitness and like well-being, you know. So that would be like, you know, like your Tai Chi. It's kind of like moving, like meditation, you know. Even though like, you know, those are like some legit martial arts moves, man. If you speed those up, you know what you're doing. You can hurt somebody, you know. Yeah. But the way that Tai Chi is taught, like, you're not going to be able to like take somebody out, you know. Yeah, and then you have like cardio kickboxing, man. I remember like one of my teachers is like, I hate cardio kickboxing, like, because I guess like all these people would do it. I'm like, oh yeah, I know martial arts. Yeah.
So, if I remember correctly, I think Joe Rogan said like yoga is like martial arts you perform on yourself.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like that training of it. Yeah. You know. Yeah. Yeah, man, it's definitely like a discipline, you know. Like you need like focus and like breathing and body control. Yeah, you know? Yeah. Yep.
So what are like the big martial arts of Japan? I mean, like that's like Japan has like probably a lot of the root of a lot of martial arts that the world uses today, right? I mean, like the word uses Japanese words, jiu-jitsu, karate, right?
Yeah, man, that's right. Like, you know, if you look at the history of martial arts throughout the world, like every country has had their own, but I feel like Japan is the one that really, like systematized it.
Yeah,
you know? And was able to do it in like a systematic way and like spread it around, you know? Yeah, because this is like, you know, another thing that goes back through history is like, you know, like Japan has been like they're in like civil war for like hundreds of years, you know? And so like your skill with a sword or like a bow and arrow or like a spear was like the difference between life and death, you know? So like fools took that shit seriously, you know? But then like, you know, it was like Tokugawa Ieyasu like became the shogun of Japan, you know, like I think it was around like 1600. And so then it's like, hey, we don't have to fight wars anymore, but we're still going to practice this stuff, you know? And so that's when like things used to be called like jutsu, you know? So it'd be like Kyujutsu, like way of the bow, like Kenjutsu, way of the sword. And then that's where Jujutsu originally came from. It was meant for like a samurai who lost his weapons to be unarmed and fight another opponent who has weapons. And they're wearing armor, so like you can't punch them; they'll just laugh at you. You know what I mean?
What does Do stand for?
Yeah, that's Do means like the way. And so what happened is all the jutsus turned into Do, right? So you had Kenjutsu before, which was like a deadly art, and then you had Kendo, which was a sport. Yeah. Like Jujutsu became Judo, you know? And so it went from like deadly fighting arts to actual like competition, you know, like sports competition. And that's also where you get a lot of other martial arts, right? Is if you look at jiu-jitsu, it kind of branched into 3 areas. So like all the stand-up stuff with like wrist locks and joint locks, that became aikido. Like all the throws became judo, and then all the groundwork became Brazilian jiu-jitsu. And so if you practice Japanese jiu-jitsu, like you'll get a little bit of all those, you know.
Interesting. Nice.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy, you know.
So what are like the biggest martial arts, like the top 3 off the top of your head? Because that's obviously you don't really have any data or anything, but what do you think like the top 3 in Japan?
In Japan?
In Japan.
Yeah, I'd say based off of like what most people practice, probably it would be judo, kendo, and karate. Yeah, and like because they have a lot of judo and kendo clubs at schools. You know, like starting from junior high school, you can take judo or kendo.
Nice.
And then like karate, you can do that like, you know, starting from like a kid. You know, like once you're like 7. You know, and like a lot of those are more like in private schools.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then, yeah, man, a lot of people are into those, you know?
Yeah.
And if you think about it, it does kind of meet the needs of like a Japanese society because like people don't have guns out here. You know, they're not supposed to have swords, but they're probably not going to use them either.
Yeah.
And then like I've heard something too. They say like in order to become a cop in Japan, you have to have a black belt in 2 martial arts. And so a lot of them do judo and kendo. So they know how to toss people. They know how to hit people with a stick.
That's all you need to know, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
But I don't know, man. In my own experience out here, I've been to like a couple of dojos, man, and they're just like super lax, dude. Like there wasn't a lot of discipline.
Oh.
You know, and that was part of the reason I came to Japan. Is like, man, I'm studying martial arts in America. This is great. I bet in Japan it's like even more fantastic. And it's just like, oh man, what's this about?
Yeah.
Yeah. I went to like a judo practice, man, the first day. I showed up like at my martial arts school. They're like super strict, right? So they're like, the class starts at 6:30. You should be here at 6:15. You know, if you're not 15 minutes early or late, like yes, sensei. You know.
Yeah.
And so I think the practice is supposed to start at 6. I show up at 5:45. I'm the first one there. You know. And then like the head sensei rolls up at like 6 o'clock. I'm like, hey, how's it going? He's like, hey, you want to try it out? Huh? I'm like, yeah. He's like, all right. You know, let's get changed. We'll get started soon. I'm like, okay. So I get changed, and I'm like standing around, and like people are trickling in. It's like past 6. This kid's sitting there playing his video games. Like, Ryosuke, go put on your gi. He's like, no, I'm not ready yet. I'm like, no. You say no? Shit, man. My school ass would have been on the ground looking up at the lights, man. Like, you know, wondering how he got there. You know?
Nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like with any martial arts, like with any schools, there's like schools that have discipline, like schools that don't, you know, like, but just based on the schools that I've been to in Japan, I haven't seen any that are that strict, you know. That's just my own experience, though.
So, I mean, I don't know. This is a really possibly a stupid question, but what is your most enjoyable martial arts that you've learned so far? Just the pure, like, no, I like this. It's like fun, you know, like. Or it suits me, you know. It might be like I like, you know, whipping a bokken around or something like that, right? Or it could be like I like, you know, rolling on the mat and choking people out. So
yeah, that's a good question, man. I really like the Japanese jiu-jitsu, man, because it's got like a mix of everything.
Yeah,
you know, like it's got like some throwing, like some groundwork, some like joint locks, you know, and so like in some of those like workouts. Like you'd show up and there's certain techniques for each belt level, you know?
Yeah.
And so like when you and like a partner, like you kind of move through the martial art like with the partner, you know what I mean? So you both kind of progress at the same level.
Yeah. And
so it's like the sensei will be like, all right, you guys run through every technique you know. And when you're done, come tell me. It's like, all right. And then you just take turns doing it, man. Like a guy will like throw you, be like, all right, that's pretty good. Next time do this. Next time do that, and it'll be a little bit better. It's like try it again. And it's like, and then you're just like on the ground looking up at him, like, yes, that was good.
Nice.
You know.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Each one is different.
Of course, I know. But I mean, there's probably one that possibly resonates with you more based on just what it is. But no, it's just a curious question. So.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. No, not bad though. Yeah. What about you? You've been starting martial arts a little bit, right? Like doing some kickboxing and stuff. Yeah.
A little boxing, a little kickboxing. I'm trying to get into some jiu-jitsu, but it's I think the timing is not good for me right now in terms of what is primarily my conditioning, but two is also I think just like the schedule is just not very good for me in terms of time. Yeah,
for sure. Well, I was gonna say, man, just starting out in martial arts, like I think the biggest thing is just to come in like a blank slate, and soak up everything like a sponge. Like know that you're not going to do anything right when you first start.
The way I've been learning is more like like a cardio class. It's an hour. I'm just going to burn you out. Then I'm going to sit there and it's like, no, you're throwing this kick wrong. Yeah, there's none of that. I was hoping it was, but it's not. So, but it's still enough for me to kind of like. I mean, he'll kind of come by you, something like kick with your shin, not your foot, type of thing. But it's not like the discipline that I was looking for. But it's still a good workout. I'm having a great time with it.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
Ooh.
Sounds good, man.
31
minutes.
Looks like man.
Yeah. We hit that mark, dude.
Oh yeah, we went beyond that mark.
No doubt, dude. Well, that does it for another fresh episode of Dudes in Asia. So martial arts have always played a big role in the world and have definitely changed my life for the better. Before we go, I'll leave you with a quote from Bruce Lee. There are no superior martial arts, only superior martial artists. So whatever you choose to study, stay humble, work hard, don't be afraid to branch out, learn more, and adapt your style.
Man, that's a good quote, man. Can't follow that up. So this is Enter the Noogie signing out. Be sure to check out our blog at dudesinasia.blogspot.com or hit us up on Facebook at facebook.com/dudesinasia.
If you want to follow me on Twitter, search for @DavidHater. That's @DavidH8R. Peace out.
Sayonara.